We've gotten to the end, ladies and gentlemen. The regular season is behind us, and now we look ahead to the playoffs. This is Run It Back. My name's Michelle. We've got Chandler. We've got Lou Will. Chandler, how was your weekend?
It was great. Yeah, it's fun.
Lou, did you have a good weekend too?
Very relaxed.
Anything exciting happen?
No.
All right.
Nothing I can think of.
I went to Coachella. It was fun.
How did that work out?
It was hot.
You look like you almost came back in one piece.
Yeah, it was good. I'm all set.
Love that for you. We do have a lot to get to today because it really literally came down to yesterday. Things that still needed to be determined have been determined. The final game, Western Conference playoffs with the Clippers beating the Warriors. It took them extra time. And so the Warriors find themselves in the play-in. The Lakers finished third, the Nuggets fourth, Clippers fifth, T-Wolves sixth. They all are in the playoffs. So we will start with the Lakers and Minnesota. The T-Wolves have won 8 of their last 9 games. So, Chandler, I'll start with you. How confident are you in the Lakers making a deep playoff run now that we know who they're facing?
I'm confident. I think they're a very good team. I think they're playing well. They're starting to defend. Everyone's getting involved offensively. But the Timberwolves was the one team that I wouldn't want to see if I was in the Western Conference. They are playing really, really well right now. They are capable of slowing it down. They're really good defensively in the half court. So Lakers are going to have a challenge. I think the series goes long. I wouldn't be surprised if it went 7 games. But what a first-round series, too. Anthony Edwards, Luka. Julius Randle, to me, is the X factor. Like, can he offset LeBron? Can he have a better series than LeBron James? Like, he's got to be great. He's got to be productive. But I think it's going to be the best series of all the first round.
That's going to be a tall task for Julius Randle. What I'm interested to see is how Minnesota is going to be able to utilize Rudy Gobert with the Lakers playing small ball. You know, if you put LeBron at the 5, that possibly may be his matchup. Like, we're talking about Julius Randle. If we have Rudy Gobert on LeBron James in a half-court setting, that might create some challenges. And on the flip side, if Minnesota can figure out a way to get Rudy Gobert going and be utilized in that offense, the last 3 games, he's been huge on the offensive end, not just on defense. If they can figure out a way to get him in the game plan on the offensive end, both teams can have some challenges coming up. But I still like the Lakers' chances in this matchup. Yeah.
It is interesting that the Julius Randle of it all, because we know the last time when he was in a Knicks uniform, playoffs, there was a lot of pressure and fans were left feeling less than satisfied with him. I feel like he's in a better spot now pressure-wise. But Luka is the interesting factor here because it was only a year ago in which he took over and basically crushed Minnesota on his own. He scored over 32 a game. He had 10 rebounds, over 8 assists per. And so now he's in a new uniform. I'm sure Minnesota's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. But Lou, do we expect the same from Luka towards this particular team? You
should. Like I said, it's the Lakers are going to create matchup problems for Minnesota. You know, like, so who's going to take this? Who's going to take this challenge? Like, is Ant-Man going to be the guy that's going to have to sit down and guard Luka Doncic for the entirety of this series? And if so, you're going to make him work on both sides of the ball. And we know Luka's pedigree on the defensive end, and so that creates an advantage for the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, who can stop him other than Ant-Man? You got Vanderbilt. You got not Vanderbilt. McDaniels. You got a few guys that can take that matchup. That they can switch. They can create some issues for Luka. But if he's looking at this team from what he did last year, he's going into this series extremely confident, knowing that he can do whatever he wants to do on the floor.
And the problem is, it's not like Ant gets an off night if he's got to guard Austin Reeves. So he's having a hell of a year. His numbers continue to go up. So they have 2 dynamic guards where McDaniels, Dante DiVincenzo, Alexander Walker, they're just going to have to mix it up. They're going to have to switch. It's interesting with Rudy Gobert. Are they just going to match his minutes with the Jackson Hayes type? When they go small, do they go small and put Randall at the 5 and have him on LeBron when he's at the 5? So it'll be interesting to see the rotations and the matchups. But yeah, I think you want to try and preserve him as much as you can in a series that's probably going to go long. So I wouldn't want him on Luka, but man, he's still going to have to check one of them. Then he's going to have to guard Reeves, and that's not easy either.
And you still got Naz Reid coming off the bench. You know, that gives you another option with length, not to guard Luka, but that's somebody that you can put on a LeBron James that'll give you a different look when the Lakers go into that small ball mode that they like to play in. So again, if Rudy Gobert can't be on the floor, you have a great sub and Naz Reid coming off the bench to be able to sustain some of that.
So you mentioned you wouldn't want to play the Timberwolves. I think this next team is the scary one, Lou. I'm going to start with you on the Clippers because they are the hottest team in the Western Conference. They've won 8 straight. That was including yesterday. 72 points is what Kawhi and Harden combined for against the Warriors. And I get it. I know living in LA for as long as I have, on and off, Clippers have sort of like this jinx, or people think, no, there's never. This feels different to me, or maybe I'm being optimistic, Lou, but
they're rolling.
how ceiling-wise, what am I looking at?
I mean, they're rolling at the right time, and the only thing that stopped them from being that team is getting healthy. And now that they've gotten healthy, they got everybody back in the lineup. Kawhi Leonard is playing at a high clip. James Harden just finished off the regular season where he played in 79 of the 82 games this year. You got Norman Powell back from injury. You have the emergence of Zubac as a big defensive presence, being in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, quite possibly. Like, everything that they need to happen for them to be a successful basketball team is trending up, and that's the only thing that they were missing. They were missing the health. Now that they have everybody back in the lineup, made some trades that work out. You brought Bogey in to give you some three-point shooting. Let's shine a light on Chris Dunn as well. The way that he's been able to guard, he made it difficult for Steph Curry last night. Like, Steph is always going to be Steph. Your job is to go out there, minimize or make it tough for him to make shots. Chris Dunn was out there and he was making open shots. So if this is a team that can bottle all of that up going into the postseason, they can change the narrative around the LA Clippers in the postseason.
And Kawhi Leonard he's back, and I knock on wood, but he has been balling. He's playing at an elite level. Norman Powell's been so consistent all year long. He's now healthy. He's back in the lineup. So when you have so many guys like that can go and get you 30, 40 points on any given night, especially in the playoffs, when it does get slowed down, when the matchups are the same, and they're going to take away everything. When you play a team 6, 7 times, they make adjustments, but they have so many different options to go to when they do make counters that the Clippers are in a great spot against this team. But let's not forget, the Nuggets are also balling. They make a coaching change. They win 3 in a row against 3 playoff teams too, and Denver is also a very tough place to play. So as good as the Clippers are, I still think the advantage is for the Nuggets.
I gotta give it to the Clippers simply because of how they guard now.
The advantage is Clippers?
Yeah, like again, in your starting 5, James Harden is the only person that you can seek out for a matchup problem. Other than that, they got really good defensive players that can cover up a lot of holes. Like, you got Chris Dunn, you got Kawhi Leonard, you got Zubac, you got Zoo at the rim, you got Norman Powell. All of these guys have defensive pedigrees, and at the same time, like Chandler just mentioned, they can go on the other end and get you a bucket as well. That's going to be the difference in this series. Now, we know who the Denver Nuggets are, but if the Los Angeles Clippers are healthy going into the postseason, I think this is the year that they change everything that people say about it.
I mean, we saw how deep and how great the West was. Now these playoff series are going to be incredible.
Like, every one of these series is, I'm excited
It's almost a blessing in disguise whoever gets that 7th seed to face the Houston Rockets, which is crazy because I don't want to disrespect them.
So,
we'll get to that.
But I'm just saying, I'd rather play the Rockets than any of these teams we're talking about right now, which is crazy because they've had such a great, solid year throughout the season. They lock up.
It's not a great consolation prize.
It's not
ideal. But isn't it crazy that like the Warriors go to the play-in, they can all of a sudden just get the 7th seed and get the Rockets? I prefer them over the Lakers or the Nuggets or the Clippers right now.
So you're saying there was a plan? Nope, don't say anything.
No.
We're not there yet.
No.
We're not there yet because I do want to talk Denver for one second, and you briefly touched on it, you guys, about they fire their coach and then things seem to be a little bit figured out. So here's the question I'm putting to you, Chandler. Are the Denver Nuggets more likely to lose in the first round or make it to the conference finals?
Losing the first round, more likely. I don't think they're going to get by the Thunder. I don't think they're a better team than the Lakers. We just talked about how good and how deep and experienced this Clippers team is. That being said, I'm still picking them to win this series, but to get out of the West and to go that deep is unlikely. But they look good. The last 3 games, they make the adjustment. They look at the exact jolt.